Here we are. Look, it's been a while. It's been a few months, I think, since I made a video on the channel. But look, the main reason is I just needed a bit of a break, a bit of a freshen up. Look, I do these videos in, not part-time. It's a hobby. At the end of the day, it's something that just makes me happy. I get enjoyment out of it. And the moment I don't get enjoyment out of making them, look, I just need to take a little bit of a break away and, just try and freshen my life up a bit. So anyway, went away on a holiday overseas and that was awesome. I'm in the military, so I've got heaps of work going on there, and there's just family life to, just juggle with. That's just how it is being a dad. But anyway, look, just want to let you know I'm back again. Bangers version 2, gonna make this fresher and better than ever. And look, let's go back and check out my board game collection. Ow! Jack! What's that for? Hit me! Yeah, that's not happening. That's still scratching me. Still scratchy. Still scratching me. Welcome to my board game shelves. I'm Hoax. This is Board Game Bangers. And look, in this video, I just want to give you an update on how my board game shelves are looking. How is my board game collection going? Look, it's not the world's biggest collection, but it's my collection and I'm so proud of it. And I just want to show that to you, and we're going to do that in this video right now. Let's get straight into it. And we have canvas and canvas reflections. And as you can see, reflections is actually reflecting back because it's still in shrink. That's a common theme for my expansions, and I'm not really sure why I have so many expansions when I just never seem to get around to playing them much. Tales from the Green Acorn, that's the book from the Everdell collection. Now, moving around here, we have Merchant's Cove. So that's a unique game where everyone's playing their own mini games. So good little fun there and an amazing artwork by the Miko. Dwellings of Eldervale, my number 1 game of all time. Go check out that video. Do yourself a favor. Just, if you haven't had a chance to play it, please get yourself a copy of Dwellings if you can. Tron Legacy. Now, Tron Legacy, this is a Lego, and obviously the little Lego there with the Mickey and Minnie Mouse. That's my partner's input to my board game shelves, so I love the fact you wanted to put something up there for me. A random toucan, a random fairy wren, because you know what? I love birds. And Scythe, and here we go. This is the Lacerda collection. Now, I'm going to just start off over here. Lisboa is where it all started. I purchased Lisboa, not really knowing much about it, sort of still getting into games. I broke it out on a table and oh my goodness, there's a lot of blue on there. But anyway, a lot of blue, a lot of rules to wrap my head around, but it didn't take that long and all of a sudden my mind was blown. I was the world's biggest Lacerda fan, so I went and purchased On Mars Next. On Mars there, not that you can see much of it, but On Mars, let's see if I can just break that out because I love that cover. There we go. On Mars, beautiful game, just theme where you're going in and off Mars there. Look, it is a lot of rules, but once you wrap your head around it, you're gonna have the time of your life playing that. Now the expansion, the Alien expansion, I haven't got a chance to play that yet, obviously still in shrink, got a really good solo mode supposedly, so really can't wait to play that. Vinyos, the only Lacerda I'm yet to play, well of course, and Weather Machine, which hasn't turned up here in Australia, so still another week or two until that turns up. The Gallerist. Now I have played the Gallerist, but obviously not my copy because my copy is still in shrink. But there we go, the Gallerist, really good game there where you're running an art gallery. Next one here is Kanban EV. This is my favourite Lacerda of all time. It's just something about a mundane job where you're running a car factory or you're a worker in a car factory. Look, it is just so beautiful. The new one, Kanban EV, the artwork is beautiful. Tool artwork. Really do yourself a favour. If you're going to play one Lacerda, play Kanban EV. I'll absolutely love that. Just a couple of random photos up there. And let's have a look up here. We have ourselves some sleeving to be done. This is part of the Everdell Complete Collection. Anyone who has that game will know there is so many cards to sleeve. So I'm just slowly working my way through that. And after I do that, I've still got to do the stickering yet on all the meeples. So there we go. So Everdell. Next up, let's move down here. Sleeping Gods. My number 2 game of all time and my number 1 campaign game of all time. Sleeping Gods. It is beautiful. Ryan Lockett, tip your hat off because you are a genius. Now, what else we got here? Coloma is probably one that doesn't get talked about much. Coloma is a Western themed, rondelle driven Euro, and it is just so good. Johnny Pack, The more I think about it, the more I want to play that. So I can see there that it's got a solo mode, so I must go play that solo. I might even play that tonight solo. I really can't wait to play me some Paloma and Meeple Circus. The kids love Meeple Circus. So if you have young ones, if you have kids, sort of maybe, I know, seven upwards, 6 upwards, they will love Meeple Circus because it's a dexterity game. You're putting acrobats on top of elephants, on top of seals, on top of balls. Look, they're going to love that. Now, moving across here, let's see. Probably the one I want to talk about there is Container. Hard to get my number one sort of auction type game. I just really, I don't know, it's just something so, again, it's a mundane job, like working on a wharf there with container ships, but, Container. It actually probably is one of my greatest board gaming experiences of all time when I first got to play that. Flamme Rouge is another one. Now that's interesting. So again, another experience there where I really enjoyed playing my own solo variation of that game and playing it as a campaign game. So I'd play it, so I'd keep the results and they would carry on to the next round, and I'd run myself through a campaign there. And again, not an official solo variant, but my own solo variant, which I absolutely adore. Now moving across here, what do we got? Tekenu, Tricerian, a couple of heavier Euros there, whole bunch of Wingspan. So as mentioned, love me some birds there we go. So love me some Wingspan. So we'll need to get the Asia expansion next, and obviously the big box. What else? Gugong, I traded for Gugong, really glad I did. Big fan of Game Brewer games, actually some really good stuff coming out of Game Brewer. Now, moving across here, Wavelength. The only reason that's sitting there is because we played it the other night, had a whole bunch of us around there, great party game there, Wavelength. Rush MD and Kitchen Rush, 2 dexterity games, 2 very unique dexterity games, but they're both very similar. So you probably don't need both in your collection. Do you like hospitals? Do you like kitchens? Whichever theme sort of, you like the most. But to be honest, if you're kind of like me and a bit crazy and want them both, definitely not going to hurt having them both there. Okay, moving across, Aquatica. Aquatica is... It's one of those things, it's like you're in Neptune's world and there's all these, I don't even know, like mermaids and things going on, and it's this world underneath the water. It is such a good game. You're going to have all of these manta rays. Aquatica, it is fast growing as one of my sort of go-to games. It's a quick game, it's an easy teach, and look, I love me some Aquatica. Now, moving across here, this one's interesting. I have here Planes, Trains, or Automobiles. Automobiles, great bag builder there. Trains, a great deck builder. Both of them very, very solid games. Planes, unfortunately, lets it down a bit. It's not as good. Dinosaur Island, Dinosaur World. Do I need both? I was thinking about this the other day. Do I need both? I don't know. I kind of like the neons from Dinosaur Island, the neon look. But Dinosaur World, I think, is the better game. Moving across here is my biggest regret. Zombicide, Undead or Alive. I don't have any of those sort of Ameritrash games. I'm a Euro gamer, so I'm like, I just need one of those games in my collection. And I really like that Western theme, so I'm like, let's go in. I got suckered into the Kickstarter, got suckered in by all the videos there, and I went, you know what, let's load up on some Zombicide. Anyway, it turned up, and I was just like, I just wasn't excited when it turned up. Look, maybe when I give it a proper go, a proper game, because I only gave it a bit of a half effort game. Maybe give it a full game there, and maybe I'll really get into Zombicide. Next up, just some Iron Clay chips there, and what do we got down here? We got Power Plants. That is the latest game to have turned up. That is a Kickstarter from Kids Table Board Game. Just turned up about 2 days ago, and that's a neoprene mat for it. Now, Power Plants, there is some beautiful colours. And one thing I'll say is Power Plants was actually my very first video. My very first Bangers video was about Power Plants. So there we go. So it's always going to be sort of something that's going to be close to my heart there. And you're also going to see another Kids Table Board game there, Creature Comforts. If I can get this camera to work, there we go. Creature Comforts. Now, Creature Comforts is fast growing as my favorite family game. The artwork is beautiful, the mechanics are simple enough that the kids will be able to play, but the adults will also get something out of playing it. And I reckon it's also a game that you can also play just with your friends as well. It's just so much going on there in Creature Comforts that I really adore that. Dog Park, Cape of Europe, probably my favourite 2-player game with Hanamakoji, I reckon. Marvel Splendor, the kids love that. Let's move across here. Clinic. Now, Clinic is a heavy game. It's Lacerda-like. It's Alban Viard, and again, you're running a hospital, you're running your own medical clinic there, and there is a lot of rules. It is probably the most rule-heavy game I own, but if you take the time to learn it, you will not regret it. The Clinic was such a great experience. And then Beyond the Sun, I don't know why that's still in shrink, really must play that. And Rurik Dawn of Kiev, great game. Now, what do we got here? My Catan collection. Now, starting off with the little baby one, Catan Junior here. Look, kids are going to love that. My kids love it there. Then we're going into the retro Catan. So now we're probably talking maybe, teenagers and, family game there. And then Dawn of Humankind. That is the latest Catan to have come out and just makes it a bit more of a gamer game. It's just a little bit heavier version of Catan. Now, Redwood, shout out to Sit Down Games. They were the first people to believe in Board Game Bangers, to give me a chance. So when I started this channel, I reached out to a few publishers and said, hey, look, love to be able to sort of publish your game, be able to review it, and Sit Down Games were the only ones that took a chance on me. And for them, I am so thankful. So I will always support Sit Down Games. And Redwood itself is actually a brilliant game. So it's I'm a photographer, or I used to be a photographer back in the day, and now, I don't know, it's just something like going out, doing some wildlife photography. It is something that I love doing as a hobby. So a game that captures that is absolutely brilliant. So Redwood, check it out. Just finished up on Kickstarter recently, but yeah, I will always support Sit Down Games. What else we got? And let's see if we can fix this up. There we go. And here we go. I talked about Game Brewer before. We got Hippocrates and Stroganoff there. Hippocrates, that is a good Euro. So go check out the video on that, my review on that. That is a game, and that is underrated as anything. Hippocrates, I think that is worthy to be on any person's shelf. I really like that game. That's pretty much it there. Kung Fu Panda, I play that with my daughter. We just make up our own rules. The minis are awesome, and it's just a just a fun little experience there. Okay, moving across here, we're getting into sort of a few of the games. I guess maybe I don't play as much here, like Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion. I really should just sell it. I'm never going to play it. I just didn't like Gloomhaven. It wasn't for me, so I purchased it, gave it a crack, just didn't like it. Chocolate Factory, out of all of those games, Chocolate Factory is by far the best. Chocolate Factory is so good. Now moving across here, what do we got here? Grand Austria Hotel. Yeah, some of my mates love it, some hate it. I don't know, it's a bit hit and miss, that game, but I really like it. And my mum's Austrian, so I'm never getting rid of it. And Altiplano, that's probably my favourite out of all those. Altiplano, really good. Again, bag builders, I seem to like bag builders. Moving along here, what do we got here? So that's the Cape of Europe mat in the background there. And down the bottom here, Robinson Crusoe, which is just my friend's copy. I've got to give that back to him there. Now, we've got just a few little party games there. Oh, probably one that we'd like to talk about, the Alpha. Another underrated game, doesn't get talked about much. Really, really good fun experience. Again, that was had 6 mates around the other night. It is the only game I'd want to play as a 6-player game. It played quickly, had a lot of fun, had a lot of interaction. It's just a really good, solid game. So the Alpha, Draftosaurus, kids love that. Look, let's move along here. In the background there we've got Trails, which is the Parks Lite version of Parks. What else? Flick 'em Up, Dead of Winter, I need to sell that, just don't really feel like ever playing it. Honey Buzz, great game. Haku, really good game, doesn't get talked about. Beautiful table presence. It's you're running a koi pond, so you have koi fish and you have these sort of dragonflies and all these sort of things like turtles and stuff. It looks beautiful there. Architects, Viscounts, Paladins. Now the question is, which one do I like the most? Sorry about that, we're back again here. And yeah, I was just saying, the one I like the most is Architects. Architects is my favourite of the lot, but they're all very different. Viscounts, Paladins. Paladins is the heaviest of the lot of them, but all of them really good games on their own right. And going into here is just my box full of just small box games. Kodak's really good, some Exploding Kid in the background there. You can see some Valley of the Kings back there. Oh, there's a whole bunch of stuff there. One Night, Import Export, Sushi Go, Hanum Koji's in there. Look, all of my little small box games. Moving across here, Pax Pamir. Now, still in shrink. I've got to play Pax Pamir because my friend has a copy of it. I really enjoyed it, but the problem is, do I want to play it again? Do I want to own it? I paid so much money for it, but I don't know, it may just sit there and shrink forever, who knows. Parks is brilliant, some Century Golems versions there, and moving across, we have Calico, Verdant, and Cascadia. Now, these 3 games from Flat Out Games are just, they're small box games, but they pack so much punch in each and every one of them. Out of all 3 of them, I don't know, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking Cascadia was my favourite. The more and more I played Verdant, I'm really liking Verdant at the moment, so I don't know. Look, you can't go wrong with any of those, maybe just grab all of them. Next we have Viticulture, Barron Park, the Azules, Fjords. Look, I don't know about Fjords, I'm still on the fence on that one. And Aussie Scrabble, because all that Aussie bogan out there, we just need to play a bit of Aussie Scrabble. And lastly, here we go. Again, another famous Aussie game, Test Match Cricket. Oh, I grew up as a kid playing that, and is one of the best memories for me growing up. So I just have to keep a copy of that in my collection. And what else we got? A couple of small box games here: Land vs Sea, Fairy Trails, Wild Space is the one that's turned around the wrong way there, and that's pretty much it. So there we go, that's my collection for you. Let me know in the comments below, what were your favourite games out of my collection? And look, I don't know, I'm just proud of them. They're the games I'm happy owning, and yeah, sure, I'm going to probably sell a few, but overall, I'm absolutely wrapped with the games I have here. So this is our hobby, and look, I'm so glad to be a part of it. Till next time, I'm Host, this is Board Game Bangers, laters.